Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Relaxing Sunday evening here at the Low Budget LCS. I am joined today, the second time you've had a chance to hear their sonorous voice, by Val.
Hello. Hi again.
Got some commercial Group B action for you coming up. Should be good. Maybe it's chill, maybe it's not. I like it all.
I don't know. Something tells me that these two teams aren't really gonna hold back on one another.
I was told specifically that I wouldn't regret it.
Love that.
Where is it? Yeah, channeling my full inting ability just for you. Yeah.
Just for you. That's a high compliment.
Are gonna get me draft here in a couple seconds, I believe. This is Flash for damage versus SNC, the Snack Bears. Twempest Fwame. Twempest Fwame was just Twempest Fwame last season, right?
Yep. But they were SNC players.
Yeah. Now they've got the official title. They earned it somehow.
Yep. Probably with the finals appearance. The bands are going through lightning fast here, and they're honestly, I think all pretty reasonable bands. We know Lil Deer, I think, is going mid. And I mean, anybody who watched Econ Finals, Lil Deer's probably seared into their heads, had an electric game 5, very frightening. And maybe other people will also recognize very frightening for being the jungler in that series, but now is down in the bot lane, in case you haven't seen these team. And obviously, Gelato Gato and FFD Sword Art are both new members of the team, with Sombra holding down the top lane, as we see a Muriel first pick into a potential Maokai answer in the top lane or jungle or support position.
Yeah, it was described by Sombra as the remaining core of the team that won Econ back in 2009, and bringing in new talent in the hopes of making a splash goal. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. I'm just gonna start talking about Melio because what a champ.
Go ahead.
I was playing some League of Legends last night, right? As I am wont to do. I'm playing some Vi, you know? I'm like, alright, she's not the best right now. She got a little bit of the nerf hammer, but it's okay. I played a lot of her. She's fine. Actually, we were doing the... if you ever get bored of League, this is a really good thing to do. Well, maybe not. If you get bored of League, go outside. Maybe. But
yes, that probably first.
Probably
but if
that.
you get bored of League and you still want to play League...
Yeah. But we were doing... If you want something fun to do with your friends, we were doing the challenges where you pick all champs from the same region. Right?
Those are really fun.
They're really fun. Because it just adds that extra little bit of constraint on. And you have to try to figure out what to do, how to make it work. So we were doing tilt over, and so I was like, okay, I'll play Vi. If you don't got any friends, Vader, just look at the Low Budget LCS. We got plenty of people to play with. People sometimes hop and chilling in community. Come on by. Fine folks, we're around, and I know you have a team, so
yeah.
But yeah,
utilize them.
All of that to say, as a bunch of this draft has gone by without me saying anything meaningful, Melio Q cancels Vi Q, and I hate it.
Yeah, I thought that was where this was going when you mentioned Vi and Melia. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it is a little bit painful. So you're gonna watch out if you're a dashing champ. Now Gwen fortunately has that little immune thing. This is something that's so fun to look at interaction, though, right? Because I'm wondering, all right, Maokai W, how's that gonna work? Well, can he get bonked out? Or I think he's unstoppable, right?
He's intangible.
Intangible.
So I know this because we in our series we played against Maokai. The amount of times Maokai uses W to dodge strong abilities, the most notable being Syndra ult.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. He doesn't get hit. But I do think we see some really interesting kind of interactions. We know Maokai is obviously going jungle. going top to answer into the Ornn, and we're going to see the Sejuani response to the Maokai. Junglers handshaking into some of the most boring stuff I've ever seen in my entire life. Um, but I'm interested to see what the mid laners go here now, because I think that is going to be a place to watch. I think Great Snake has been really good for SNC, and the same goes for Lil Deer. They're going to face off, and Malzahar is the cover.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
it's
locked
the
in
lock.
there. Yeah, we didn't get baited. Congratulations to us.
Whoop.
I always get baited. I think it was freaking Less Force's team. We're just hovering all of my jungle champs in front of my eyes, so I would just start talking about them. Ugh. No, it is what it is. It happened. Nefiri.
Ooh, into Malzahar?
Well, we're getting baited.
No, we're not. We're going to see Neferi
Oh, we're
mid come out
not.
here
All
from Great
right.
Snake. I feel like that is an interesting pick into the Malzahar, right? You know, I obviously assassins are known to be able to punish a lot of control mages, but I feel like if there's any control mage that won't care,
Yeah. Oh,
it's
I did I get the sides right?
yes.
Yes, I did. Oh, let's go. Huge. Okay. Oh, good. I was assuming so. 'Cause champ overlap was good, but let's get this prediction up and going, y'all. Yeah, I'm excited. I've had a very busy week, so I'm excited to get back, relax, watch the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, relax and watch some League of Legends.
Mm. Now, okay, I was watching. I was watching something, and it was the classic, League of Legends. Do you put Flash on D or Flash on F? Flash 4 damage means is maybe the best words-based argument for putting Flash on D. Now, I'm a Flash on D gamer, so I'm also a big fan of D stands for Flash. But if you're flashing 4 damage, then you can say, well, I flash 4 damage, damage starts with a D, so I put Flash on F, right? Or Flash on D. I don't know if anyone's picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I still disagree because F stands for Flash. I don't know how there's like every argument I've heard against it is usually wrong. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, what if the argument is that is how I started playing, and I didn't want to change?
While that is a valid argument, it doesn't mean it's correct.
That's fair. I can be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. Good time. Oh, that's interesting. It says the prediction is closing in negative 78,695 seconds.
Interesting.
News flash on D, but the game has Ghost on D. Yeah, I think that was me as well. I think the game starts you with mobility spells. Oh, interesting. So this is not going to be Nefiri mid. This is going to be Nefiri jungle. It's going to be Maokai mid lane.
Interesting.
Ghost TP all you think? Yeah. Alright, well, I'm interested here. So if I'm looking at this jungle matchup, I'm not 100% sure how good Nefiri's clear is. That great?
I mean, if they have the players in the wrong positions,
They shouldn't, though.
that could be. They shouldn't, though. I think I saw a Great Snake in the mid position, or maybe not. Could have been mistaken.
Oh, yeah, they swapped champs. Okay.
Oh, okay, there it is.
There we go. Okay, so this is going to be a Maokai jungle in the mid. They just... it could have been the thing where it's like, oh, do we pick in the order that we drafted, or do we pick in the... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. But we're going to get into the spectator game here. Anyway, I am looking at these teams, and I'm saying, I think Flash for damage scale? Well, Gwen makes things tough. Interesting.
I think the one makes things tough. I think, hands down, FFD have a stronger team fight if it's a slow team fight. If they get a front to back team fight where you're just trying to break down through Orange Sejuani, you have to try and break past Malzahar, Orange Sejuani to get on top of Zaya. It's not happening. And you have such big viable bodies to tank the Maokai ult as well that Zaya usually shouldn't have to blow her ult to dodge that and can instead hold it for Nefiri, Kaisa, or Sona trying to either hit her with a spell or Gwen Nefiri, Kaisa trying to dive her. But there's a lot of onus on Very Frightening because I think that's your only source of consistent damage other than Malzahar and his little like space and his
Dots.
space dust.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, Malzahar will do some damage, but it is a very frighteningly focused game on the Zaya.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be interesting to see how that pans out. So Shwani doesn't have too many buddies to proc her passive, so it will be interesting to see what is happening there. Likely is going to be a comfort pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a request of you.
Hmm.
At any point during this series, because I used to do it, I remember like essentially spamming in chat during the econ finals. At any point, I think a very easy setup, especially because it's going to be so focused on Very Frightening this game. Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening, has to be something you say.
Okay. Can I also do the Galileo part?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think I would be disappointed if you didn't. I'll even fill in it's Galileo. I'll fill in the other one if you need me to.
How far can we go? Because I might. Oh, no,
Well,
we just
okay.
start singing Bohemian Rhapsody every time we say Very Frightening name.
From what I know, Twitch's DMCA rule doesn't kick in for it's either 15 seconds or 30 seconds. So as long as we cut it off at one of those marks, we can kind of just roll the dice and see which one it is. We should be fine.
So you're telling me we have to sing it badly?
That is well. But I don't think I could. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have it in my heart to say that.
That's true. It's a bit challenging. I mean, I have it in my heart to not have the falsetto range that is necessary. That is something that absolutely is in me and my heart. But it is true. You can't do a song like that dirty. You just can't.
Yeah, I can't half-ass Bohemian Rhapsody. It's not gonna happen.
All right. Well, we are going to get into our pre-game. I currently have casters in order of the number of times you've heard them today. They're obviously going to be winning that one.
Woo! Yeah.
But yeah. Now we got skin game going. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That is a dope Malzahar skin.
Is that... Oh, my client hasn't loaded yet. Which one is it?
3 honors Malzahar? I don't know if I've ever seen it before.
It's the skin you get for hitting honor 5 at the end of the season. That was the first one. Yeah, it looks really good in game too. It's probably the best Malzahar skin.
Wait, I probably have that then. I have honor 5. I think I've ever not had honor 5. I think.
Same.
Welcome to Summoner's
you can actually, I don't know if anyone's done this, you can request your data from Riot and you can see how many times you've been recorded. As I do have a pause right now at 30 seconds. You have the same thing?
I will speed up really fast so I can catch up.
At 32, 33, 34, 35.
Oh, I went too far forward.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
34, 35,
37, 8, 9, 40, 41, 2, 3, 34, 45, 46, 7.
Oh,
8,
I realized what happened.
10, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8.
We're good.
Okay. And if you haven't noticed, I am having to put in great effort
Minions
to
have spawned.
do that because the count is missing. Gone.
Huh.
Yeah.
Still missing.
Still missing. There is a 123,400 Schmeckel bounty on his.
That's a lot of Schmeckles.
It's also his favorite number of Schmeckles, so I'm hoping it will, coax him out.
Can he collect the bouncy himself?
See, I'm going back and forth on that. I think if the count comes back, he can collect a partial bounty, but maybe not the full thing. Now, this is an interesting action I'm seeing here. Malzahar utilizing E on Neferi's dogs?
Yeah. Well, it didn't even seem like he eat a minion and then he automatically went onto the dog. And basically, the duration of it kills the dog. So I think that's going to be really obnoxious, especially later in the game when, you know, Malzahar's E's gonna kill it a lot faster, essentially.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, too, because it seems like a really easy way for Malzahar to proc E, but also I do think it might, depending how you're utilizing Malzahar E, change how you're farming. Are gonna get a bit of them all in here. Too much gonna happen though. Because say you're trying to like take the whole minion wave with your E, and then it just starts jumping to the dogs. That's obviously not ideal.
Not ideal.
Yeah. So it does seem like a little bit of a counter though. So I'm
In this game.
very interested to see how this mid lane matchup turns out with that little interaction. Oh, we are gonna have some noodle fighting top.
Well, I don't know if it's noodle fighting. To be honest here.
Yeah, one has a big noodle, the other has a pair of scissors. Because it looks like Wahaj is going to investigate the jungle, figure out that Swift 1 is not here. Has gone for an accelerated free camp on the Maokai. He might be looking to dive Little Deer here.
I don't know if I love it. Well, maybe it's doable. You just have to avoid a very untimely silence.
Yeah, you have to have the ability to set the power aggro with that W. Make a level 3 dev. I am paused again briefly at 331 to 333.
34, 35, 36.
8.
I'm like,
If you're a little behind, it's okay. Oh, Lil
yeah,
is going to be in trouble. He's going to be rooted up that bush. He's able to flash over the wall, but a great channel from the Neferi means a great snake is going to find a kill.
Yep. Big kill. I don't know. I miss when you're doing the time controls. I miss how Malzahar ever gets there. I feel like that's just like
either. Oh, Sword Art is going to be caught up. Will be rooted, bonked back. That's a little bit of an insect going into the enemy jungle. SNC, Great Snake, looking for their second kill of the day. They're going to find it. And that is Neferi going to be sitting on 2,000 gold at 4 minutes. Whew. So the Fury is a problem now. Really, really good work there from SNC Wahaj to get that going, find the angle, set up the kills, and really good just to really, block Sword Art's only possible to escape. Obviously found the root on Little Deer, so they're really helping Great Snake get into this game, and they're coming back. It is just a tent in the mid lane. Little Deer's gonna bleed, and Great Snake gets a third for their troubles.
Yeah, and it's really difficult because obviously Neferi has the wave in front of a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit frozen perhaps there on the Malzahar, but with the jungler being just killed, Sword Art can't come and bail out Little Deer. Do see a top lane game though. Demonic Summer not going to be able to find a knockup, but Sword Art is procking the passive. Will be able to find it, and there it goes. Sword Art going to claim the kill there.
And I think obviously, I think at around this time, Flash for Damage is going to look to kind of look for alternative incomes, right? Malzahar is always going to have the ult, always going to be able to shut someone down. So there, I think Twempest Fwame, Twempest Fwame probably know that, right? They know, okay, well, we're always going to be able to get Malzahar. So the purpose of camping this Malzahar is to get Neferi ahead, right? If she can basically utilize all of her strength on one-shotting or just erasing Xayah from the map, that will be huge. My worry is that once we get into the later game with the amount of CC and kind of disengage and kind of just these tank options that FFD have, all of that plus Mal's ult, I'm really interested to see how White Snake is going to try and outplay that, because I think that's going to be a huge part of how NCC will try to win this game.
Yeah, for sure. Something I like to say in my own personal games, if there's one person on the enemy team that's super far ahead, you just kill them, and now the gold deficit, if it's just 1-to-1, maybe becomes a gold advantage for your team, because so much is stacked onto that one player, and we have something like Malzahar that's really good at signaling out one champion. If White Snake is the only damage coming out here from Twempest Fwame, and they get Malzahar ulted early on in the fight, there'll be a lot of trouble.
Yep. And I think another thing, obviously looking across the gold, most of the gold lead expectedly is in the mid lane. You've got White Snake is up about 1,200 gold, and then smaller leads across the map, 300 in support, 200 in ADC, and 200 in top, kind of help the lead get to what's about like hovering above like 1,500. I think it'll be really interesting to see how I think mid game is going to be huge. Does this if this Neferi continues to snowball, I would be very obligated to give it to Twempest Fwame. If not, then I think it'll be more interesting, because the more time I think you give this FFD comp, the more time you give a team you let them figure out how to play, as Sombra is trading really aggressively.
Sombra using those green props. Explosive, though, has the needlework, but that's because Sword Art is in the area. Is going to flash forward, find the knockup. Now here comes the Fallen Force Charge. Is going to be immune, but it looks like Sword Art has it on lock. Uses Glacial Prison, but Demonic Sombra goes in and gives up their life. And it does look like Sword Art is going to be able to get the kill anyway, but a tragedy in the top lane for Flash for damage.
No reason to walk up there. Your jungler's got it. I mean,
there
you already
reason.
have the... Why? I have to know now.
You're greeting for the kill. That's the reason.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Fantastic. We do have Sonal being used down here. Very, very frightening. Thunderbolts and lightning going onto their back. Now, Gangwoo looking for the damage. Not quite able to find his plasma proc. Not going to go off. Probably going to save Very Frightening's life. Uses the flash. Uses the ghost. But does get to safety.
Yeah, and I think that was just a matter of Zaya not having R, right?
Over the wall, but here's the Malzahar suppression. Is anyone going to be there in time, though, as so much damage comes through under the turret? He's silenced up. They're going to die, but they are going to trade that. That is a 350 gold bounty. Absolutely worthwhile. Beautiful play out of Liz here.
Yeah, I mean, you 110% take that if you're a Malzahar. Your jungler's there to make sure if any shenanigans happen with the wave, your jungler's there to make sure you don't lose too much gold, or too much gold isn't just lost to the void.
Ooh, Sword Art might be in trouble here.
I was surprised it didn't just go over the wall.
But it is going to get bonked backwards, and now Dr. Explosive here to put the snippers down. That's another kill for the Gwen. That is likely going to Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sword Art didn't go over the wall, right? You go over the wall there, it's a lot harder for Bauhaus to fight you, and it's even harder for Explosive to come and follow up. But alas, still a tough situation.
Sometimes you can outrun the twisting advance, but it can be a hard ability to sort of speed.
Yeah, I mean they buffed it not all that time ago, but a decent while ago to go faster, which I think that was a pretty good buff, as evident by Maokai's constant presence ever since.
No, this is interesting. It looks like White Snake has evolved the macro with the Malzahar a bit. I'm not sure. I didn't quite get to see what happened with the interaction there, but I know one of the Fury's abilities brings all the dogs back to you. And so it seemed like it may have also canceled the Malzahar E that was on top of one of the dogs, which, if true, is an extreme nerf to the matchup in the Fury's favor.
There's no way they dive this, right? That's not real.
Likely not.
I feel like even attempting that.
They're
gonna go for it.
Here. Explosive, taking a lot of damage, but here comes the Fury. Call the Forge God. Not going to be enough. Rooted, so it goes wide, and a double kill for the Gwendolyn. 4-2-0 now here up in the top lane. Mr. Dr. Explosive putting on a show.
Yeah, I'm confused at why they went for that. I mean, you don't. Either you know that Neferi is walking up, or you don't know where Neferi is, and I think both outcomes lead to probably shouldn't fight. I think it's difficult for them to dive Sombra there.
Yeah, Sword Art is going to be going in. Glacial Prison is going to be used. Wahaj will go down to the smite. A little bit of a Moss Stomper gap there, as the Herald will be traded essentially for Orange Teleport.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I will not act like I do. I think a lot of weird decisions are being made back to back to back.
I think they were thinking they could drop the Herald and dive Sword Art for the kill, perhaps, or just pressure the turret. But then the TP comes through from Demonic Sombra. It means you have to back up, and then Sejuani has. I mean, all credit to Sword Art here. They have most of their team's kills. They have 81 CS in the jungle, as opposed to 54 with Wahaj, although Wahaj has been spending a lot of time getting wasted ahead. So they have their mythic completed. They did quite a bit of damage, and they just picked one off all by themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, that's right now, Sword Art's kind of doing their best to kind of be that facilitator early game, make things happen. It's just a difficult early game so far, right? The lead in bot lane, luckily, has shrunk a decent bit. It's only 400 gold. Or I guess it was around 400 gold last time. But the lead now in mid and top has gotten pretty expansive. 1.6 in the top lane, and 1.5 in the mid lane.
Yep, Sword Art might be in a little bit of trouble here. Great Snake going over. Twisting Advance is going to miss with the flash going over the wall. Sword Art keep themselves alive for now.
Yeah. It's interesting that Ornn is still winning these short trades. A Sheen from Gwen.
Okay. Not going to be too much turn out of that, as they were sitting on a ward. So how are you going to pronounce Sona's name here? Zandwa.
So before the W's, it was Xandradrada, so I imagine it's Xandradueda.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, Dr. Explosive going a little bit forward. FFD Sword Art is
I don't
here,
know.
The
Fury is in range, has the ult too. Has the ult that I imagine they'll just back up and give this one. No reason to stay.
For sure.
And I think that's fine. You traded Gwyn ult and Ghost for nothing. A little bit of your time, and I mean, I don't think Sejuani's going to be losing her lead on Maokai anytime soon. Just even if it's even as small of a lead as it is. I'm honestly just interested in two things. What the hell is Gwyn building? And what exactly Flash of Damage is next to this?
I'm gonna hit you with a real hot take here. Okay?
I think Trinity Force might be pretty interesting.
Now that's an Iceborne Gauntlet right there.
Oh,
that's my thing.
It might be.
If you don't have a ton of damage on the enemy team, right?
Yeah.
Then an Iceborne Gauntlet makes some amount of sense. You make yourself a little bit tankier. Zaya can't really attack you because she never wants to get melee, and then you're just left to auto down with... I mean, Gwen's kit does plenty of damage anyway, all day long. Now, could be Triforce, could be Thunderer, probably one.
At this point, as long as it's anything but Lichbane, I think I'll be fine with this.
Is going to be maybe caught out a little bit here, passive, just not quite clockwise.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
Is going to be the cleanse. They're going to be forced to ult away. Very frightening. Lightning flash over the wall, and they're going to look for the damage. The root is not quite able to be found. Flash away from Xiaomu. Jiangwu? Yeah. We're going to see a stone ult, and here comes the Fury. Ult is going to be used, though, as they're going to be Mikhail's to safety, but Very Frightening is going to go down, as is their partner, Gelato Gato. And that is going to be a net W for Twempest Fwame, as they're going to go forward a little bit more. Little Deer is going to be caught up here in the twisting advance. However, they are underneath the turret. We're going to have to see what can happen. Great Snake does quite a bit of damage. The dogs are going to look to get the kill. Going to go golden. The good timing on the second Q is going to be able to find it.
Disaster of an early game for FFD. Quick question. Say FFD's support name again.
Gelato Gato? Gelato Gato?
Yeah, Gelato Gato.
Did I say Gelato Gato?
I think you said like Gelato Gato.
Yeah, I probably
was like,
did.
What?
I probably did.
That completely threw me off. I could not focus on the fight at hand.
Listen, it is a time-honored tradition here at the Little Bunch of LCS to have your name mispronounced time after time. I know. Oh, beautiful steer there from Sword Art. Is going to be able to simplify the Rip Herald for their team. Now, Demonic Sombra looking to damage. Wahaj is going to go as TP is utilized here from Lil Deer. Horn going over the top. There's only 2 of them left. They're able to get 1 for their trouble. What else happens? There goes Malzahar, but the Scissors are going over the top. Demonic Sombra running for their lives. Can they make it out? Nope. Great Snake going to go forward. Scissors going to go over the wall. And Twempest Fwame put more and more money in their pockets. They lose the Herald, but they get 3 kills.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing the unfortunate truth of not having any damage.
Yep.
Right on this top side. Until Malzahar, it's like not until Malzahar gets a lot of items does he really feel like he's constantly doing a bunch of damage. And on the flip side, you have Nefiri, Gwen, who are going to do a lot of damage. So you're relying on Xayah, who's about about 900 gold down, not very close to 1k, but still 900 gold down.
Well,
looking to get on.
She doesn't have the opportunity to be in a lot of these fights either.
It's very difficult as White Snake goes over, pops up on the gun and says, "You will have to queue in here. You have to give your life."
Sword Art does not want that smoke.
I mean, you have all your kills on the Sejuani and Malzahar, and really no lead on the lane you need it on, right? Yeah. So they're kind of trying to, I think FFD...
Oh, very frightening, gets cut down by Dr. Explosive.
That was sad.
It is an Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, I was like, that made the most sense. When you said it, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I was really doubting myself, but I'm extremely happy that beautiful Sona ult going to be used there. This fight. Advance going to be used for disengage. Ornhorn.
Oh,
not going to go.
What happened with the Ornhorn there? Frostfire?
I don't know. Oh, we are going to see a fight break out. Dr. Explosive doing a bunch of damage. Jaimu getting in with the procs. Gelato Gato in the back line, taking quite a bit of damage. Here comes the needlework over the top. 1 is dead, and 3 are retreating as very frightening makes their way into the corridor.
Yeah, I think it's really odd to take these. It feels, the way FFD are playing, it feels like they don't know that they don't have a lot of damage, if that makes sense. Where you'll see them take a fight, and you're like, this is a good fight to take if Xayah's there, but Xayah's like in base or dead. I think in that last fight she was dead, unfortunately, but other times she's like just on the other side of the map. So it's like if they can slow the game down, right? Because Twempest Fwame isn't really like going insanely aggressive, if that makes sense, right? They're only taking what FFD is giving them. It's just unfortunate FFD is giving them a lot.
Well, and they're honestly, I want to give huge shout outs. I know we're probably gonna do MVP voting at the end of this game. And certainly at the end. Actually, have we been doing each game?
Into the series.
Series, yeah.
Series. Yeah.
No. SNC Wahaj, I think, is absolutely the MVP of this game so far. Almost all of the major kills that have gotten the feeds for Great Snake, and even somewhat for Dr. Explosive, although I would argue Dr. Explosive has been a little bit more self-sufficient, have been coming from just the obscene amount of setup that Wahaj is able to get out and onto the map.
Yeah, it's been a very, very clean game so far from SNC Wahaj. I think it just is like the immaculate thus far. I think this is a great game from the jungler. Exactly what you want to see as, yeah, just
And
winning on Gwen.
Doing it on low econ.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just the demonic. Seems like they're about to go another mythic or another AP item. I maybe Leandries, which makes this Maokai really squishy and kind of means that SNC doesn't have like a true front line, but with the Sona, right, makes them a lot more both because like they're doing Baron and Zaya is just chilling. Oh, what are the
And they know now, Sword Art's going to be looking into the pit, teleport's going to be used, Wahaj going forward. Wait, Snake snapping out of the back line, but there goes the Malphar we talked about. However, there's just not enough damage. Zaya is now here, Feathers are going to fly, it's going to be enough. That's going to be quite a bit of damage and quite a few roots, but Wait, Snake just does too much damage. Demonic Sombra, Lil Deer running for the hills, but between Jaimuwu and Explosive, it is going to be sealed. Sword Art trying to stay alive to look for the seal that would help them prolong this game. Gonna go into the pit, but they haven't ceased doing it. It's ticking down, but red team secures it. SNC Wahaj with the smite. That is an ace. And Twempest Fwame are fighting in fashion.
Yeah, no, it has been a great look so far for SNC Twempest Fam. I know we were talking about it. And Explosive mentioned it due pregame, and I think we all kind of we mentioned it on the booth is that Twempest Flame they're looking for a win here so that they can kind of show that they are high tier contenders, right? 2 strong games back to back. I mean, Zanzueta wasn't here for the first series, and is just looking to kind of turn up the heat. And kind of prove, just like if you thought this team was good in their first series, look at what they look like when their full lineup is here. Right now, they look unstoppable.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt this broadcast to bring everyone some very important news that Lil Robot Man has brought our attention to in the chat. Premier low-budget LCS caster, an all-around nice guy, LeChance, has been revealed to Lictos.
Stunned. I would have never guessed that, actually. That's so messed up.
Yeah.
Also, not messed up, teaches him.
On an unrelated news, so you know how, hang on, we got a fight here, also going to be used on the Gwen. The Monotomber going in, let's find the knockout, but a beautiful combo from Zandwa, Wadwa, and Dr. Explosive leads to a quadra kill on the back of the needlework. And, sorry, Zandwa, Wadwa?
Yes, that. Xandueda.
A beautiful ult from Xandueda.
Yeah. Not not a pretty game one. At least for FFD, they're gonna want to bring more of a fight in game 2. They're probably not gonna sweep in the Fury again.
I would ban Mount High over the Fury here.
I think it depends on what SNC plans to do, right? If their plan is to go for another kind of passive control mage mid laner, yeah, I would probably ban in the Fury. But if they plan to bring something different into the mid lane, bring something that Lil Deer can match and kind of play against Great Snake on, then I think it's more likely that we see the Maokai banned out instead.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'm excited to see where this draft goes. I think we've got a great baseline to play it off of. I think it might not have been the prettiest game one, but I had a dang good time. Hope everyone in chat did as well. Also, I am playing some smooth lo-fi jazz for us on this fine Sunday evening. So, do let me know if it's too loud or how the mixing is. But, yeah. I did really I think the Iceborne was a great buyout.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. I think that's a great job of just applying what you know about the game, right? And you know that X, Y, and Z is right, and all of those things. You see the opportunity. I love when players actually kind of just go and do the thing, right? If they know something's viable. and kind of just go ahead and make it happen. I think that's a good look. Just on the kind of development side of SNC, right? Being able, having players put build proper situational builds in the right situation.
Full Metal coming in with the you're complimenting us. That's not how that works. We're supposed to okay. Full Metal, Giga Chad Gamer. I'm gonna put it out there. If you didn't see the week 1 stats recap, we have some folks. You get in this lobby?
Me?
Yeah, you are.
Good.
Okay, cool. But if you didn't catch it, Full Metal, not only staff member, also did 1,500 damage per minute week 1, playing mid lane and commercial. So absolutely insane Giga Chad player. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the other thing I want to say, Full Metal, and also to the broader community. I'm hoping that we get some later streams in this year because I am now a Pacific time gamer. I know it's far away. It makes scheduling matches, as I'm learning very quickly, rather difficult.
Yes.
But it is only 7:14 p.m. for me right now. So, honestly, if someone schedules like a 1 a.m. Eastern game, I might stream it. I'm just putting it out there, okay? So, always put your games on the stream schedule, even if they're super late or at a weird time. You never really know when one of us is going to be available. It'll happen.
Yeah, it will happen. I think that's a great, obviously, encouraging the masses to do what they want time-wise, right? As long as it works for you and it works for the enemy team, do not feel shame by what time you play. I've had to play some hilariously late series, and I so far have never regretted any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I want at some point, I want there to be a series. It would be interesting if there was a series that was super late for one team and super early for the other. So say like there's some team that is like, we want to play before work. We want to start our series at 6 a.m. Eastern. And say like my team, who's mostly Pacific, we're like, okay, we're gonna play at 3 a.m. Pacific because that's 6 a.m. Eastern.
Jesus, there was actually a series like this. So, but back in season 3, long before your time, season 3, there's a team called Bonobo Boys, and it was a all Hawaiian team.
Yeah,
and they matched up with Cloud9, who is all Eastern, in the finals.
Oh.
So I believe the series ended up starting at like 11 a.m. or no, 11 p.m. for Cloud9 because that was just like midday for the for Bonobo Boys, and ended up, I think Cloud9 won that series. So, I guess the late night gamers took a W there.
Huge W. Yeah. Hey, Cromulus, call that Popoba's box, because you want some 11 to 12 EST games. I will try to cast them, and I will drag people along with me to detriment to all of our sleep schedule. But yeah, no, later games work great for me. Actually, if there are...
And Maokai.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. So maybe they're doing a little bit of listening to us, or maybe that was also the game too. I mean, SNC Boahaj, they switched sides, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Unlucky. Hang on. One moment. Gotta do a little bit of a swap-a-rooski here. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Really, I think that's a smart ban. I think Boahaj was absolutely the issue, even though they themselves didn't end up on too much of like a gold lead. They made it so the team was in the position they needed.
Yep, the silent jungler trick. I think it's the similar thing that Twempest Fwame had last season with Arvos, right? Have an amazing jungler that's able to kind of be a facilitator, get things done, and let the lanes around them carry. Well, we see Zaya Lulu locked in, and Kaisazona responds. We're basically seeing the same bot lanes, except we're seeing Lulu over Melio. And the Gwen blind pick. I'm interested to see if Sombra brings out. He has a pretty, honestly, fairly large pool. I feel like he should have something for this Gwen.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see what up this time. How is Gangplank into Big Win?
I don't know.
Because that's an explosive signature, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
I'm
I
just
am.
gonna lock in the Sejuani. Yes, that is an explosive signature. It's his like PFP on the it's profile picture on Discord.
Mhm.
It is his thing.
For sure. Lulu going to be picked this time as a little bit different than they had Melia last game. Going to stick with the Sejuani. I think that's good. I think Sejuani absolutely playing quite well. Sword Art had some great moments. I think you just want something with a little bit better synergy. So it'll be interesting to see what the mid and the top picks are.
Yeah, and that is 4 mid bands in the phase 2 bands. And if you count the Seraphine and Lux bands, Twempest have thrown 4 bands at Lil Deer. So I think they know.
Call it
And
5.
Jax.
Aatrox.
Aatrox?
Okay, I like these strong, damage-heavy melee top laners. Good to pair with Sejuani. Okay, I don't hate Shen. A little bit lower damage, but global presence very strong in coordinated team play, and is a melee champion to help Sejuani get those procs off of her passive.
Yeah.
It's what is it? Winter's Bite. I think that's her.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope. I pray.
What's Bromq called?
Oh, that might be Winter's Bite. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that reminds me of Winter's Bite.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Wait.
Gangplank gonna be instant dropped here for Twempest.
Now I'm
Fwame,
interested.
Dr. Explosive. Gonna be
Are we going to see Gwen jungle or Gwen mid?
It could be Gwongle, it could be Gwyn. I don't know. It could also be Gangplank mid.
Yeah, it could be GP mid.
Yeah. I doubt it would be GP jungle. I'm putting that out there right now.
What? What?
So that's got to be Gwen jungle.
Okay, Ezreal
mid.
Yeah, Gwen jungle, Ezreal mid, GP top. Wow, what a draft coming through from Twempest Fwame. But now I'm interested. I want to see a little deer on something with damage, and that can dive this Ezreal and just make his lane awful. I would be surprised if it's like maybe we see. I was about to say Orianna. I was going to say Orianna or Cassiopeia.
Orianna has been buffed aggressively lately as well. If I'm remembering the patch notes.
I'm worried because I feel like this is a similar issue to their last strat. We see 4 damage sources come out from Twempest Fwame, while we only see essentially 1 consistent damage source. You have Orianna, who can do a lot of damage, but isn't going to do that damage until way later in the game. So we're in another FFD comp where they're going to have to play things slow and kind of play things slow, plays fights slow, wait for Zaya to get online, and I hope they bring the assistance more towards bot. We saw FFD go top a lot, but I think they're going to need all hands on deck bot, right? Make sure that Zaya can get ahead and be the carry, because unfortunately, Zaya is R will make people forget Zaya is still in a mobile AD carry, and GP loves a mobile AD carries, especially a skilled GP will love those, and I'm sure Explosive knows a thing or two about Gangplank. So I'm really interested to see how FFD play around not only Twempest Fwame having so many threats, but also how they're going to try and propel this Zaya, because from how I see it, I think Twempest Fwame genuinely could kind of just do the same thing they did last game, right? Play aggressive, hop on flash FFD anytime they want to try and do something aggressive themselves, and kind of just muscle them out of these objectives, because I don't think FFD is going to be able to fight them early game or even mid game at a lot of these objective fights, like Herald or Drake.
Yeah. It is going to be an interesting one. Of course, Gangplank going over there to SNC Dr. Explosive. PhD in barrels, actually. So any barrel
That's
related
good.
questions, and any I think they're called hoopers. You
Hoopers?
know, yeah, or maybe there's some name for like the old name for like barrel manufacturers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it's Cooper. Yeah, it's a Cooper.
Nice.
It is a person trained to make wooden casks, barrels, vats, buckets, tubs, troughs, and other similar containers from timber staves that were usually treated, heated, steamed to make them pliable.
It's interesting. Learn something new every day.
So Cooper Extraordinaire, SNC Doctor Explosive, going to be looking to use that barrel knowledge to get their team the W in this year, which the team stuff as well. But I will be interested to see how this turns out. I do think that overall, Oriana is more damage than Melkar. So I like their comp a little bit better, just in terms of that. But I think it is still a relatively low damage comp. I think they're drafting, they're drafting 2 damage threats into 4.
Yeah, 1.5. I love Oriana, but it takes a really long time for her to get online. I'm a little worried that they aren't going to be able to extend the games that long, right? It's a little worrying. I do think they're capable of it. We've seen them drag matches out before, but last time they got team fought to death and could not make it happen. So I'm hoping that they can kind of keep the game slow, utilize, kind of abuse the timing and the kind of positioning of Twempest Fwame. So maybe sneak away an objective or two, steal something to buy them a lot of time. Because as it stands, I feel like SNC are going to get a grip on these early drakes. And it's Kaisa mid as early ADC.
Oh, that's a little
That
bit
makes more sense.
unexpected. I mean, Ezreal Sona
Yeah.
is a lane that makes a lot of sense. Kaisa has been known to go in the mid lane, so that's quite interesting here. The one thing I do want to mention as a compositional difference here for SNC Twempest Fwame versus Game 1 is that Game 1 you had enough CC just because Boahaj was piloting the Maokai so well. You got that W, you got that Q. Every piece of Maokai's kit does something to help assist all of the carries, all of the damage dealers in getting their kills. This game, you don't really have much in the way of hard CC to stop the opponent as you did in the previous game. So I wonder how the playmaking is going to be this game for Twempest Fwame, seeing that now Boahaj can't really set up for Great Snake in the same way that they could in Game 1. It's more going to be probably, honestly, fighting around objectives, or just it's going to have to happen when overextended.
I do think, although I've been talking on this comp, I do like their ability to do, like, they just like last game. I think they can have really destructive team fights, especially because I think this Twempest Flame comp is a little worse at kind of team fighting, right? They want to poke you, right? The GP Kaisa Ezreal Sona are going to want to poke you out of a fight before they actually have to take one. And I think Sen Sejuani is going to be a great team fight comp for that specific thing. But it's going to be, if they can avoid giving up individual leads, I could easily see FFD fighting some of these objectives better than they did last game.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I'm putting I think more faith in the Oriana here, piloted by Little Deer. I think they can do the damage to take it out. So I'm kind of hoping we get pushed to Game 3 here. Obviously, I have to wait on that one. What happens? The Lulu is also interesting because I think that adds an extra layer of survivability, especially since they didn't really draft much CC this time. Because I think Emilio didn't get too many opportunities to cleanse CC Ultimate last game. But there were a couple here or there, but yeah. Overall, I think it's another good adaptation. Let me play the dramatic music. Alright. Here. 3 seconds away. could be match point.
Mm-hmm.
This SNC this Fwame versus Flash Fwame. You know what? You know what we can do? You know what would be fun? Let's do a little poll. Let's do a little audience poll if we can.
Really great skins from both sides. GP the Betrayer, I think, is an underrated skin. The more I see it, TBA Ezreal is a great throwback. DJ Sona also very, very good. Oh Lord, what a poll! I think it was Darkstar Oriana, Brave Phoenix, Zaya, and obviously Guard Zin, or not Zin, Shin, which is like, this is a chroma. He's red instead now. I think that's really interesting. I like that a lot, actually.
Oh, sorry. Big yawn. All right. I am in. Are you at 9, 10, 11?
Oh, I'm at 20.
Oh, hang on. Let me just move forward real quick. Okay, where are you at now?
37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Yep. Oh, stream is not loaded.
No. It's I just alt tabbed. It alt tabbed.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, wait. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Never mind. No, you're right. You're very correct. Hang on. One moment. No difficulties.
I'll make sure to play something if it happens.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're good. Currently, we are tied on D and F for flash keys.
Hold on.
We're here. I can see it. We're good.
Okay. Broke the tie.
Okay. Okay. Woo! We are going to be in the... Let's see. One starting top, leashless. Interesting choice. So they shouldn't really have any information here on where Blahaj is going. So Sword Art will be going bot to top. They can probably tell that from the fact that Frightening and Gelato Gato were a little bit late to lane. However, Blahaj started just completely leashless. So it will be a mystery to the enemy team. Now, Gwen, not the best early game ganker. So I don't know how much is going to come of that.
And not only that, but it's not like the lanes have a bunch of setup. I mean, you don't get any CC from the bot lane until about level 6. Oriana should be able to play at a safe range. Shin has the dash, is also quite tanky, will be quite tanky.
Very frightening, taking a ton of damage here.
And I was going to say that it's hard to get Xayah Lulu, especially once they hit 6. It's near impossible, I'd argue. So I'm interested to see how this Boon is going to get ganked up, or if it's just going to be Gwen power farming, showing up to Drake fights and basically daring FFB to try and fight her, which I think could work out just greatly.
Oh, Sword Art has done a 3 camp into bot gank. Jaimu is going to be able to get off on a sneaky angle towards the side to be able to lose that one. Really, really well played from the SNC AD carry.
He's playing on the right side of the lane. He's able to kind of evade what could have been a backbreaking gank. I mean, maybe they heard me talking about how important it is. And Gwen on the bot side cannot counter by just yoinking her top side, yoinking Sej's top side jungle. So now Sword Art can gank bot, walk top, and take those camps as well.
Yep. Explosive. Putting on the barrel clinic. We've got sword fight here in the top lane. Both these champions actually have canonical swords. I know often it gets discussed how many champions in League of Legends have swords.
These are 2 of them.
These are 2 of them. That's a matter of fact. We are still deadlocked on Flash for D and Flash for F, by the way.
Wow. Well, how interesting.
A little bit of a pause. 4 minutes. And 4-1, 4-2. As Sword Art is going to be looking to the mid lane. Not too much probably going to happen. They're just going to walk to the top side. Looks like they spent some time looking if they could make something happen in the mid lane here for Little Deer. So they are going to be a little bit behind, and actually, SNC Bwahaj is going to find quite a bit of damage. So they may have to give up their chicken camp here, as they have to actually give up their flash. Bwahaj is going to be able to take this one away just because got met up with in the river. More powder. Oh lord.
Wait, say the time you're at again.
I'm at 4, 35, 36, 37, 38, 9, 440, 441, 442.
Okay, we're good.
442. Also, we got a 10 for it takes 2 to tango. So
my drink is empty.
I'm gonna go get a drink if you want to stall for a moment, because I realized
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have
all good.
one more.
Yeah, I also don't. Gotcha. So I think interesting early game so far here. Just across the board, obviously Gwen out farming Sejuani. I don't think that's surprising anybody, especially with Sejuani's early game bot. Then getting chased out of the jungle. It's a good look early for the Gwen. I think it'll be more interesting to see how they kind of deal and react to this. As Sejuani is coming behind GP, they're going to be able to go in. The Arctic Assault is going to go wide, and nothing will come of the gank. Explosive is completely safe, has nothing to worry about, and will force Sombra. Sombra will back in, I assume, to be back. He's not going to back at all, actually. He's going to get 6 off the wave. And now everybody else has to respect that. It's going to be very interesting to see how, I mean, SNC's played pretty aggressive this whole time, how they're going to play around the Shin R. I'm kind of surprised Sombra hasn't brought the fight, but maybe he doesn't think he can get the kill on Explosive at the moment. Sanzo Dueda is going to get stopped, he's going to get rooted up and killed for both as lightning. Very, very frightening. 4 first blood and a huge nab for FFD to get that early kill. Sanzo Dueda just did not respect the root at all on Zaya.
Your pronunciation of Zanto Dueda there was chef's kiss.
Thank you. Oh, it is. Well, okay, it might not be AD Kaisa, it may be the Noon Quiver into Static Shiv and then full AP afterwards. I think that's generally, I wait until after, because they did go, I don't know if anybody else saw it, but Zamu, that's the one that I can't get. I can say Zanzo Dueda without failure.
I think so? I don't know.
I think so. If I knew what the original version before the Ubu speak came in was, I'd be able to do it, but I just am unsure. But Ezreal last game built AD Kaisa. After I've seen so much AP or sort of AD Kaisa, right? Built Bork into
we're being told
into Nashers.
It's Kaisa. S-U-H.
Kaisa.
We're being told that's how to
pronounce it. No. I think it's Kaisa, dude.
Oh, I see. So every time we say Kaisa, so it's Kaisa, dude, in the middle. Got it.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good. I'm actually a big fan of that. Yeah, but I think that's interesting. Also, I just realized double call coming out for Ezreal and Kaisa, dude. It's going to be really interesting to see how they handle that. Or kind of how they play around that as trading. I really just want to see. Yeah, I mean, he's got the bombies now. I feel like Shin is like an underrated lane bully, and I want to see Sombra kind of play like that's the truth.
But so is Bwahaj. Bwahaj gonna face check the book, gonna start doing the damage. Sword Art. Knock up. Here comes the cannon barrage.
A lot of damage, but that's a really good.
Done, but the needlework slices right on through him. Demonic Sombra will likely be the next to fall unless Little Deer can get him to safety, but Quake Snake on the Kaisa, dude. Putting quite a bit of pressure there on the enemy mid laner. A really good play there out of Explosive. Doctor in Coopery bringing it on home.
Yep, and 2 kills is a massive issue. They're going for Zanzo Dueda again. They have 6s. Sona does not.
Dueda taking so much damage here. Very frightening. Going forward, the Thunderbolts and Lightning have struck. And now Xiaomu is going to run for their lives. The Feathers are going to be found underneath the turret. The Cleanse comes out at the just wrong time, but they're able to live on a sliver of HP. Oh, Lil Deer has to be careful as Wahaj is now available. W is going to land. Shen ult coming through in the mid lane as Sword Art now comes up here, likely to just help maintain the top wave here. Not too much kill pressure here onto Dr. Explosive.
I mean, great job. I think the Shen ult was kind of a reactionary thing. You want to dissuade maybe a Kaisa dive. Like, she was full HP, basically full HP, I think basically full mana, right? And maybe she doesn't see the issue in going in with the flash up, dive under the turret. So you try to dissuade it with the Shen ult, and I think that was fine. You have Sword Art to cover top wave, so they don't lose too much.
Yeah. I am waiting. Someone asked in chat if Shen W blocks Gangplank Q. I'm waiting to see. I think it. Well, does it count as an auto or does it count as an ability
it applies
that
on
applies
hit
on hits, right? Because for example, Ezreal Q applies on hits, right? But I would say that that's probably not blocked by Shen W.
I will look it up.
As it is going to be static shift coming out here first from Saya.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine it as anything.
I'm excited to see what Very, Very Frightening can get done this game. Obviously, last game they just weren't in the fights that were happening because so much action was going on. It just said block. Okay, it does block it. Interesting.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay, Spirit's Refuge will also block all abilities that use basic damage. So that includes Ezreal Q, which I guess is that's important in this game, Yasuo Q, and Fiora Q.
Thank you,
and
the Destroyer, for helping us
cool.
clarify that.
Thank you so much.
The guy, angry at the item Rageblade. Would you care to explain where this ire is coming from? I'm curious.
Maybe he's just not a fan of Rageblade Kaisa.
I see. So it's more like a Victor build situation than it is like a personal loathing for the item.
Maybe. No, we need it to get confirmed. But once again, we're seeing, I think in the main lane now, that it's not such a... Oh!
And I'm at 11:30 kind of for work. 11:32, 33, 11:34, 11:35, 11:36, 11:37, 11:38, 39. As Wahaj is coming into the mid lane here. Lil Deer going to be running away, but the smite is going to be used to help slow them down. Wahaj doing some damage, but not quite enough to make it successful. Now Sword Art has made it the way to level 50, level 51, level 52, level 23.
We're good.
Okay, Herald goes down to the mid lane, and Wahaj is looking to do the damage, but the Orianna is starting to chunk. Oh, the Herald wasn't quite in dash range. There goes the ultimate.
Ooh.
Wait, Snake uses their ult, but it's not going to keep them alive. Needlework coming through. The Herald does not get the charge off. Lil Deer and Sword Art hold down the tower, get a counter kill, and things are looking up for Flash for damage.
Yeah, I was in the process before that whole debacle went down. I said Lil Deer is having a much easier laning phase.
Oh, Demonic Sombra.
What a great toss!
Oh! GP passive OP as we're going to see a fight for this Drake. Feathers are going to fly, but it is going to be found up. Wahaj not able to take damage. Gwen is immune. They get the Drake. Trade one down. That's a W for Twempest Fwame there. Just took Gwen into Zaya is very sad for this.
I think it was a great W that came out from Zaya, or Gwen, or, you know, the Shroud that came out from Gwen. Because if it doesn't, you essentially are like, hey, walk into melee range of me if you want this kill. And honestly, with the Kraken, might have been able to get away with it. It didn't have the snip stacks or whatever they're called. And maybe could have gotten away with it with the Lulu right on his back. But I think maybe played it safe, took the kill on Sonic, who's having a tough game. And now we're kind of seeing what we thought we were going to see, or what we were kind of hoping to see in game one, with the very, very frightening being as strong as he is. But now I think there's a new issue in the GP, right? Yeah. I think we've all seen all seen how an ADC has to win against the GP.
We do have a little mid-game pause here. tech issues going down. Yeah, GP also here almost has the Infinity Edge completed. So already has the... My brain is just saying Razor Blade. I know it's not that. Essence Reaver. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Already has the Essence Reaver for that Spellbreak proc. Is going to be getting the massive crit damage out of the IE coming through soon. And has a cheeky little stopwatch in there.
Always. And I think that's going to be really important against, I think, Sejuani and Oriana. But I mean, we're already seeing part of how FFD kind of want to run this, right? Use the Xayah to dominate in these fights, right? Have the ability to kind of, because I think if there's, we're seeing like pretty good positioning coming out from Very, Very Frightening, but I really just have to see it against the GP, right? Because the longer the game goes on, the more important that's going to be, because the GP, it's just going to be easier and easier for GP to erase Xayah from the Rift.
For sure. Yeah. It's certainly going to be interesting. Xayah has a lot of work to do with these drafts. I think Lil Deer is coming online better this game. Does have a tier stacking, so it is going to be a little bit delayed. Currently 1,300 gold in her pocket. Probably... I think they might just be waiting until they can complete their entire first item. What do you go? Do you go Ludens or Leandri? Probably Ludens? I don't know.
This game Ludens, I feel, right? You have a team with no true frontline, right? I think Gwyn works as a great pseudo frontline when you have the Sona backing you, because you can tank a lot of ability just by existing. But when both of FFD's members, frontliners, are melee, right? They're going to be in the shroud, they're going to be causing issues. It sort of works because the Ori and Xayah, who are going to be the damage dealers, won't be able to do much. So I think Gwyn is a great pseudo frontline, but with no actual frontline, when you do hit basically anybody on SNC, they're going to take a lot of damage, and it's going to be an issue. So I hope to see a Ludens, but I wouldn't mind a Leandros. I think it'll be just fine for that as well.
Yeah, I think Ludens would be good here. I recently was playing some Karthus, and I found that Ludens is actually just way better, in my opinion, than Leandri for most games, because it seems like the additional damage you get to squishies is so important. Because when you could just Karthus ult and like bring the squishies down below 50% HP at the beginning of the fight, it's so strong. So I think I want to see something similar here. I want to see the build, particularly into the composition that Fwame have chosen.
Yeah, I mean, they have a super squishy comp, it seems like...
And I'm frozen again!
Pause. 1409?
1409, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cute.
So hopefully we're using them at like the same time.
We have 1412, 1413, 1414.
I have not unpaused yet.
1417. Interesting, we've got some new spectator bugs. Fresh, right from the Riot Kitchen. You know, it's always going to be something. Interesting. I haven't been keeping track. How long does the World's Trophy stay in that little spot at the top of Summer?
I don't know. It's not there anymore, though, is it? Yeah, no one has it at the moment. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I'm at 1439, 1440, 1440. Lots of count in this game. Sure
44,
would be nice.
45,
46?
46? Yep, okay.
Yeah,
I think
we're
46.
good. It sure would be nice if Sammy Two Slap would. I'm pretty sure Sammy Two Slap is the one who has the count hostage. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, he was pretty like dead set on like, what's the word? Like taking him out.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact word is.
Big
very,
Root
very
gonna be out here.
frightening.
SNC Blade Snake, but very frightening. Not gonna push it too much. Knows there is the possibility, even though Boahaj isn't actually there, that someone could come out of the corner and just doesn't want to push their luck too far, especially because you have this Herald on the map. You know, there are things you can be fighting for, and you're so much of your team's damage, you can't afford it.
Yeah, and I think GP just got an ult upgrade, so we'll see which one he chooses when he goes back to base. At least I think that effect is what the ult upgrade is. They're looking to fight it, but they don't know explosives right there.
Going to be using the barrels.
Wait,
there goes the feathers, but Gelato Gato is the one who catches the ire. Explosive finds a kill, but is taking a ton of damage. Heals go through, very frightening going forward. The stopwatch is going to be utilized. Wahaj now going to be the main damage dealer as one more will fall, but very frightening is inside the circle. You're not immune, but the snips are so strong! Wahaj is able to find the kill, and now Lil Deer and Sombra are forced to run for their lives. Lil Deer doing some damage. Sombra going to be picked off by Xiam Uwu. Ezreal ult. And, wow.
Yeah.
What a fight.
That is exactly what they were trying to avoid with having the Xayah inside of the Gwyn Shroud, right? That's what Gwyn wants, and that's the opposite of what FFB want, right? You need to be able to hit the Gwyn, so you got to be inside the Shroud, and if you're inside the Shroud, that means you can get snipped. The feathers got cut right off. I feel like even with the last game where Gwyn wasn't that strong until she was, this is a very similar situation where all of a sudden Gwyn has a bounty, I think has yet to back. Yeah, sitting on 1,800 gold, we'll probably be able to buy another component off of that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if...
Magi's.
Or Magi's.
Could be Magi's. Got 8 stacks of that Dark Seal there. Look pretty good.
Yeah, I think it'll either be Magi's or I think we're going to see Magi's or we're going to see Iceborne again. I wouldn't be surprised to see Iceborne again.
Yeah, it would still be quite good
Just
here.
But FFD showed something that they didn't really get to utilize before, which is confidence, right? We're seeing Very Frightening is playing aggressive. He's trying to be as frightening as humanly possible. And it is working to some extent, right? Being aggressive, right? If you try to kite away from explosive there, you kind of give him the idea that being in the position he was with Sejuani on the back and being 1v2 essentially is okay. It's not okay. And being kind of bringing it to him was, I think, a great move from them because it shows, hey, if you're not in proper position, we're going to fight you as Sombra's taking a beating up in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Explosive, just using that first strike to the absolute advantage. He does still have the teleport available to the fight, as does Demonic Sombra. But Demonic Sombra could make it down to the fight, and then maybe, well, Shenron's not quite available, so Scan United will be coming up a little bit here, as the Gangplank barrels fly across the map. It does look like Flash Damage do have the inside route on the pit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think if FFB knew that Wahaj back,
Gone under the
Great
curtain,
taunt,
immediately
has
getting
the
orange
orange.
trial by
Nope.
fire. He is going to be yet again be anathema
force him
of
to
Demonic
back up.
Sombra.
Yeah, and we're gonna see once again SNC is going to get to that soul point. And this is kind of what I was talking about in draft, right? It's if they can't get into position, if they can't really get into the place where they can fight these mid-game fights, because we see Gwyn, we see GP are so strong. It is so hard to contest
Just
them.
be careful, Needlework gonna come through. Wash picks off a cheeky little kill, and now Sword Art doesn't have much place to go. But it doesn't look like they're gonna go for Sword Art. They are just gonna hit the tower, ignore the boar, because honestly, it doesn't do that much damage. Now that the tower's on, they can turn their look onto Sword Art, using the ultimate to get that healing that procs off so that they can stay alive. It does look like we got the Magi's there. SNC Wahaj absolutely feeling themselves this series.
As they should. If I was 3-0, I'm going to feel the same exact way. You're in such a commanding position right now. Is the GP as the Gwyn, even the Ezreal being so strong. What should be difficult fights to play, right, against what is a beefy frontline and a difficult to die Xayah are so easy because you're either poking them out before the fight or just able to force Xayah to walk up and fight you and get shredded because of it. And on top of all of that, GP's fed. And what GP being fed means is that Xayah has to play essentially on needles. Thin ice. Like, very difficult to play these fights when you have to be ready for a barrel to pop up out of nowhere. Your flash has to be ready, and if it's not, you have to be positioning damn near perfect.
Yeah, it looks like Gwen might not even really be going for a mythic item here. Has that needlessly large rod, signaling that that's probably going to be either a
Shadow Flame or Rabadons.
Yeah. For some reason, my brain was saying Horizon Focus, even though I was thinking Shadow Flame. But yeah,
Similar items.
I
They have the same build
I
path, don't
think
they?
it would be a Shadow Flame over.
Yeah, I'm
Rabadon.
thinking Shadow Flame as well.
I don't think you get too much value off of Rabadons on the Fen, whereas I think the burst damage on the Shadow Flame is.
So Rabadon.
Oh, it is Rabadons. Okay, all right. I'll eat my words.
Oh, I guess. I mean, it capitalizes. Oh!
Cannonball coming through. Gelato Gato flashing away, healing to make sure that they stay alive. Dr. Explosive is going to be double pressuring here. Now, Kaisa, dude, might be in a little bit of trouble, but Sword Art not going to pressure that one too much further.
That was a lot of damage. I think it's
SNC going to start up this Baron.
They have no vision. No vision of hit from FFD. They look like they have no idea they are doing it. And
taking a bit of damage, not respecting the Kaisa. Very, very frightening going forward. Shut down onto Dr. Explosive. They are going to lose the worm, but very, very frightening. Absolutely not giving up this game just yet.
that is the second time a player on SNC just has not respected the Xayah at all. Zonto, the way they did it at the beginning of the game, just got rooted and was like, I'll be fine, was not fine. And the same happening to Explosive there, giving up a huge shutdown to the one person who can make this game winnable for FFD, because right now that's where they are. We're going to see either a Zhonya's or an Archangel's come out next, basically. If it's the Zhonya's, we're going to see defensive itemization come out for Lildir, which is, I think, not ideal. And if it's the Archangels, we're just going to have to hope that that damage is enough from Lildir. Oh, Sword Out.
I want that. Is going to use the Ghost after seeing almost all of the entire enemy team around that corner. Is going to say, no, maybe I don't give away my stacks and my shutdown. Also, I have a theory. I think Wahaj just likes buying items that cost $12.50.
Yes.
Medjai's, Rod. That's 3 items that cost $12.50. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I believe you as the Rabadons is finally going to come through. 70 farm up. This
How much
win
AP?
is a titan.
463.
Yeah!
Ooh! Zandwatueda is going to be a little bit of trouble here as Lildir does their burst damage, is forced to use the ultimate, is forced to flash away, is forced to use the heal. Flash for damage.
They're going to get a GP ult out of it.
A little bit of value, but it does mean they do not have the command shockwave available for this critical break fight.
Yeah, traded 2 ults. They've got to fight this, and I think they know. So they're hoping that Sombra can hold it down. Lildir has the TP, and Sombra is dying.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Dr.
And they've
Explosive does
conceded.
not care that you're a tank.
Yeah, and they've basically completely that original is going to keep a very frightening safe. They've conceded positioning on this Drake almost entirely. And so I think, and I like SNC's decision here. You know, if they're not going to contest it, we can wait right until the game's in too good of a position, because you don't want to take it early and then leave time and space for them to fight for that Elder, right? You want to get as much as you can, then take that Drake and force them to really, really fight up for that Elder.
Yeah. It will be interesting to what happens here with the M Drake powered up. Also, quite a big gold deficit here. 15k. Here is going to be the gold difference for Flash damage versus Twempest Fwame. I'm not sure. Oh, Gelato Gato, Jaimu Woo feeling themselves.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, that's going to be the snipe from over the top.
Great ult from Ezreal. And I think it's SNC, I think, are showing, like, hey, we are here to kind of prove that we are a top team. I think, yes, FFD have given them more of a fight, but I think they're among that upper echelon they're kind of trying to prove that they're among that upper echelon of commercial teams, and so far I'm convinced. Meanwhile, I think now
Deer. Oh, the W! Oh, Lil Deer's going to stay alive, flashing over though. Wait, Snake is going to be able to collect that one, as Wahaj is going to be 1 versus 2 up here, but I think They have the damage to make it work anyway.
Oh, great
Bulu
flash.
Ultimate is going to be utilized. Glacial Prison is going to be used now. They're going to be taunted up, but that just means the damage is going right onto you. Explosive now here as well.
Oh my... Wow. That was clean.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they end here, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. And for him to go as they are today.
Yeah.
Him the guy as your caster complement. Your Neferi was very clean in the Simeon Surfer series, and I'm excited to see how you guys play it from there. But no, and they're gonna end it as I was doing such a thing. What a series coming out from SNC Twempest Fwame. They came in here, said, we want, Explosive said is like he wanted to prove, use it as a statement game, right? Prove that with their full lineup, with their 5, they can maybe beat just about anyone. And I think they proved such a thing here. I think now people are going to be much more excited to see them play against the higher level, the upper echelon of commercial B talent. Meanwhile, for FFD, I think you go back to the drawing board, but there were so many good things, and it's not like there are a bunch of bad stat lines, right? You just couple of bad macro decisions, couple of unfortunate team fights went the way of SNC, but if those go the other way around, there's no doubt in my mind that FFD can put up a much better fight. Seeing great plays from Lil Deer, from Sword Out, from Very Frightening, prove that things will be able to kind of come together for them as things go on, as games go on.
Now, we do have to decide MVP of the series. Currently on the list, I have Wahaj, Explosive, and Sword Art up for the vote. Is there anyone else you would like to add? Very Frightening had a very good game 2. Wait Snake played very well as well game 1.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my vote is for Wahaj. Between the Malachi game 1, and obviously the absolute dominant Gwyn performance in game 2, I think it's very difficult to argue against that.
All right, well, I'm just going to throw up names here. Everyone who I think deserves a vote. And we're going to go ahead and start this poll. I'll do a crisp 3-minuter so we can hopefully get it in. But let's see. Good night, him the guy, or maybe you're saying good night to the low budget LCS. I think that's LeChance on there because
It's definitely LeChance.
They referenced Little Robot Man talking about them specifically. So you can vote for yourself. Hell yeah! And also, you can use your schmeckles to influence these MVP votes. For only 100 schmeckles, you can vote multiple times in order to make sure that your desired candidate wins. We don't call this corruption. We call it, we're trying to deflate the schmeckle. We here at the Schmeckle Reserve believe there are too many schmeckles currently out there in the world. And
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. We need to get those numbers down. So use your schmeckles. Vote it off.
Preach.
Who wins MVP? And then we can drag him on here for a little bit of an interview. But I think that was a great series to watch. Obviously, if you are flash for damage, Cap's going to be going back a little bit to the drawing board. You know. But,
series.
Yeah. And I do think part of it, at least for me, the drafts were a little rough. I think maybe get a little bit more damage into them, and we're going to be doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had the right idea. Going, like, hovering the Jackson and Aatrox. But I hope they didn't kind of pussyfoot around, potentially, like, being able to pick something more aggressive into what would have been a Jax, right? or what would have been a GP. I would have loved to see a Jax. I would have loved to see an Aatrox. Just something that could bring fight. Because when you're essentially forced to sit and farm in the lane with that GP, you're essentially going to granting him the lane, which I think is not what you want to do against a GP connoisseur, right? You want to pick something more aggressive, and even if it was the Gwen, I don't love going into Shin, right? I feel like you have to take something more aggressive into explosive because Sombra had moments, and I think even had moments against the GP where made the right like immediate play, but I feel like Shin just didn't have the strength, or maybe explosive got away with like just the right play where it just didn't work out.
Yeah, for sure. As we only have a little bit here, it does look like SNC Guahaj is going to take the cake on this vote. I'm going to ask them if they'd like to be interviewed here. I hope you're all having a good Sunday night. Everyone's doing good. Dapper Gap contributing 1,000 channel points to make sure that the player formerly known as Amanda now as Guahaj won that vote, as I'm trying to navigate up to the caster channels here real quick. There we go. Welcome to the broadcast, SNC Guahaj. Congratulations on a most valuable player performance here on this fine Sunday evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Today's actually my birthday.
Happy birthday!
What a birthday game.
Now, was it
What a birthday game.
What was anything a present to you? Did your team give you anything for your birthday? Like, yeah, you're
No, my
allowed to
team
pick
did
when?
nothing, and they don't appreciate me.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, it happens with most junglers.
Exactly. They just complain jungle diff every game, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that can apply for this game. I mean, we're talking about 19 out of 26 KP in game one, and then just the most KP on the team game two, alongside of being really fed. A great series talk to us about the Gwen pick. Gwen jungle, not super common, but it seemed like it just fit right into the comp like a glove here.
Yeah, so Explosive is obviously like, I think his like three best champions are definitely like Gwen, GP, and Cassante right now. So normally it's banned against us. So like seeing it open both games felt really, really good. Because I'm also like, I'm not super comfortable on it, but it feels good as a blind pick if we know it doesn't have to go top lane, right? So like we can just decide, and they were like, oh, it's Shen, I can just like take first strike and press Q on cooldown, and like then I'll be a, you know, fed gangplank going into the mid game.
Yeah, and he was a very, very fed gameplay going into the mid game. And also in draft, you guys seemed to have a vendetta of sorts against Lil Deer. What was prepping for her like?
So I know that normally I'm not like, I'm in charge of the drafts, but I'm less so on the banning side. But I know that the Seraphine is a flex between their like ADC, mid, and support, so we always like banning those. It's the same reason we banned the Rel, is, you know, jungle and support can both play it. Lux we just kind of banned because, you know, they're comfortable on it. And then in round two, it's like, okay, do we want to ban, you know, top laners or mid laners? Well, they think they know the top matchup, so we should ban mid laners so we take away pools since we're blinding mid. And it was a similar thing game one where, you know, we locked in Gwen into Ornn. Are we gonna ban random junglers or mid laners? I feel like whenever like a solo lane is open in the second round, that's what you end up targeting.
Yeah, result.
For sure. Gotta get those solo lane bans out in the second round. It's always tilting also when your whole pool gets banned out. In my case, if someone bans Warwick.
It's just not. You're not Kato 1000. Come on, stop messing around.
Listen, look at my Warwick mastery points and look at all my other champs. You'll understand. In any case,
I'm scared to. I'm scared to look.
congratulations again, Wahaj. Anyone you want to shout out? Anything you want to shout out? Happy birthday again. Can we put happy birthday in the Twitch chat, or I'm gonna hold you hostage and not in the stream. Will our viewers eventually diminish to 0? Yes, but I want to see happy birthdays. Let's get to it.
You know, if I had to pick a specific player on the team to shout out, I think it would have to be Zandra because a lot of us are like a higher rank and they are definitely like, at least on paper, like the lowest ranked on the team. And I think like in a lot of our scrims and games, they're like definitely holding up on their own and everything.
Okay.
Awesome to hear.
Well, and are we pronouncing it right that it's Zandwadweda?
Yeah, it's Zandwadweda. So it's Dr. Explosive, Great Snake, Bwaha, Zayamuwu, and Zandwadweda.
Zandwadweda.
That's Zandwadweda just made sense to me, but it was Zayamuwu that really got to me. Zayamuwu was the one that I was struggling with really badly.
Alrighty. Well, that is gonna do it for us on the LBLCS. Val, you want to take us out with a classic catchphrase of yours?
Less force is hoarding schmeckles.